We moved him around pretty good, had some good motions to get him off some doubles, and it was just coverage. You know, he had single on the back shoulder fade. He had cover two, but we had nice play action. And that's what DK does best. I mean, he can really run. And it was nice to get him going early.
You were very candid last week about the defense and carrying the team last week and how the offense needed to step up. Obviously, there's a lot of steps taken today. That explosive first half in the pass game and then the run game that he got going in the second half. How much of a step do you think he took today in terms of getting to where you need to be?
Well, I mean, there's been so much talk about how can we get DK more involved, how can we push the ball down the field more, and I said last week, you got to run the football. And I think today we ran the ball pretty effectively. That Kenny G, I mean, Kenny Gainwell, obviously if you're a football fan, you know who he is, and you followed his career, and it seemed like every time he went in the game, for me as a football fan, with Philly, it was like, man, this guy's really good. He should get more touches. So when I came here, I knew what kind of player he was. I tell him all the time, he's an absolute baller. So any opportunity he gets, man, Kenny's been great all year and make himself a lot of money.
Aaron, I broke the record today for most passes in the club history of 50 yards with 91 this stage. Now we're going past Drew Brees. What does that mean to you back in your career, but still getting accolades? What's the passing game got going today?
Yeah, it's the twilight of my career. I wouldn't say back end. I used to say 5, 6, 7 years ago I was on the back nine, but I'm teeing off on 18 right now. By the way, what happened to the Ryder Cup? Europe's smashing them still? Yeah. That's too bad.
Aaron, another record that you come away with is the longest Twitter Classic in Mocha history. Would you talk about the history today, just the emotion and the atmosphere?
I thought the atmosphere was outstanding. I mean, I came out real early, and in most NFL stadiums, there's like a 2 hours when the stadium opens, and it starts to trickle in. But somebody came back in the locker room at like 11 and goes, man, there's a ton of people out there already. I was like, well, we're not in the States anymore, This is a different type of fan. So I loved it. I thought the crowd was fantastic. There's a lot of terrible towels there, but I felt like there was probably some good old Irish get in the mix too, waving those towels around a little bit. The music was great. The fans were cool. I mean, the field was pristine. I thought the field was really, really good. Conditions were good. We had a nice, sunny Irish day, right? I feel like a normal Irish, Scottish day is like overcast and drizzling. This was extra nice today. So the whole experience was fantastic. Shout out to the country and everybody that made this happen. Win or lose, I would have said the same thing. I just felt like the reception from the people here was outstanding.
Do you think Dublin has done enough to deserve another NFL game in the future?
100%. Yes.
We have seen a lot of heavy offensive line formations, where you have 6 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the progression that the offensive line is having and the protection to you that we have seen lacking in the last matches where we were touched a little bit?
Yeah, get banged up a little bit. I thought Spence, was a good player for us today, and it was a good addition. I thought Art did a nice job of kind of mixing in some of those heavy personnel sets where Spencer was playing tight end for us. And we had some effectiveness run the football out of those sets, which is great. They played a lot of two-shell. They brought some pressure early. We kind of hit them with some vertical, getting the ball out quickly. Other than the first play and the one I got kind of slung down, I thought the protection was really good all day. They didn't bring their typical 0 empty pressures, but I thought we ran the ball well, and that kind of kept them off balance.
And allow him to be decisive.
What was the reaction to your good teammates on the field, to the fans in the stadium, and what impact do you think that had on the overall defensive performance, especially going there in the game when, like you said, you're tired?
It was huge, man. To be able to get a team on a silent count on the road, even though it was a home game technically for us, was massive. I was so impressed with the fans, knowing when to cheer, especially when we were on defense. That was huge for us, and it definitely gave us an edge today.
We've seen all the players in the inside zone of the front seven playing a very good game. The running defense has improved a lot. How do you think Derek Harmon has been an impact player on that side of the ball?
I think D. Harmon is just continuing to get healthy each and every week, and the healthier that he gets, the more familiar that he gets in the system, the better that he's going to play, the quicker that he's going to play. He's a big guy, he's aggressive, and he plays hard.
Anything else? Last two.
The experience now as you head home again of being in Ireland, just sum up what it was all about.
It was incredible, man. It truly was incredible. Gonna miss it here. I'm excited to get home to my family, but they treated us so well at the hotel here. The hospitality, the fans, the food, the Guinness, everything was incredible.
What do you like more?
Before I even get to the game, I just can't express enough the reception that we got here. The hospitality, the accommodations, the service, it was all top-notch, man. It's an honor to represent American football here in Dublin. It was just a great trip. Obviously, a component of it being a great trip is doing the job, and thankfully we were able to do that. We made it a little bit more entertaining than maybe it should have been. But the Vikings had a lot to do with that. That group's got a lot of fight, man. They're well coached. It's just a fun atmosphere, man. Good to get a win. Good to go into the bye in the position that we're in. We're leaking in some areas, and so, man, it's probably at an appropriate time. But to be honest with you, I've never had a bye that didn't seem like it didn't come at the appropriate time. Calvin Austin's got a shoulder. I think he's at the hospital being evaluated. Jalen Ramsey was in and out of the game with a hamstring. Brandon Echols had cramps. Slay got cleated. You know, we were leaking a little bit in the secondary coming into the game without Joey Porter. But such is life. Again, I'm just thankful to get the victory. I appreciate the fight of the guys. Certainly you want to finish that game off cleaner, man, so we got some get better ahead of us, but it's good to do that with a W. You know, we talked a lot about the late, great Ambassador Rooney last night. I know he's smiling at us today, man. It's just an honor, man, to fulfill his vision, to bring NFL football to Dublin, man, and been thinking about him a lot on a personal level, and so I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. I'll pause and open it up for questions.
You know for sure that Jalen wouldn't play, and game was something like
Jalen was a pregame decision. That's why we listed him as questionable. He worked out prior to the game, and, you know, we just didn't feel good enough, man. Didn't want to put him in a uniform, and then he wouldn't be able to finish, and then you're working a guy short. And so, you know, we worked him out, and that's where we settled. Jalen's a tough guy. He wanted to do it, but I just thought it was prudent not to. But I also got a great deal of confidence in Kenny Gainwell, man, and he showed you why. Top-notch competitor and professional. He's been a great asset to us, man, in the running game, out of the backfield. He's just a football player first, and I appreciate his efforts today.
Coach, speaking about Kenny Gainwell, is that a guy that you think get, you know, an increased role going forward? He was really good today.
I tell you, man, Kenny's always ready for whatever we ask him to do. And so, no, I would not be surprised by that. He's just a top-notch competitor, and I'm glad he's with us. You know, I thought that we put together a good plan, and I thought they did a nice job of executing it. The Vikings got some challenging schematics. They worked to minimize your four-man rush with max protections. I think the adjustments we made relative to the max protections was a major component why we were able to put pressure on them. And so kudos to TA and company, but also kudos to the men. We had a bunch of guys that played hard and made a bunch of plays today, and we needed them.
Mike, some of that leaking you referred to in the injuries in the secondary, did that lead to that 81-yard catch?
Unfortunately, yes. We were leaking bad at that juncture, man. I think we had big nickel in and I think 3 safeties, and that's not ideal under the circumstance. You're really limited in terms of your schematics. You can't play man-to-man, and so it was what it was. But we were able to get out of the stadium.
How important is for this team to start fast and before the first half?
You know, I'm certainly interested in starting fast, but the start doesn't determine the game. It's a 60-minute football game, as you guys just saw. And so you got to start fast. You got to be competitive in the middle. You better be competitive at the end. We're in the ultimate parity league, and I think that's why we have such a good relationship with our fans, man, and we enjoy putting our talents and skills on display for them.
As you mentioned, the connection between the Rooney family and this country here, you know, the Irish people certainly embrace the Steelers as the home team this week. How much did you strike? How did you strike a balance between allowing that to filter into the locker room and not allowing it to become a distraction?
Our guys are professional, and so I think two things can be true. You can appreciate this unique opportunity that we had to come represent American football here, while at the same time you can do what it is you need to do to pursue victory and handle this week's job. And so, that's the approach we took it. We weren't going to fight against it. We want to appreciate it, yet at the same time we understood what we came here to do.
Hello, everybody. We are here in the Truth Serum post-game here. Steelers win it 24-21. Going to be hearing Mike Tomlin. Going to be hearing Aaron Rodgers at the podium here, folks, for the post-game pressers here. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And Victor, we say it every week, every single week. Pretty wins, I guess, are not allowed.
No, just when you thought you blow them out, I think the score is much closer than what the game was, but I agree, there's no reason that should have went down to the final seconds.
Just cannot.
Their ability to put people away and make the right decisions in those closing moments was what made this game like that. Outside of that, though, I'd say Pittsburgh pretty much dominated on all fronts defensively. Offensively was balanced. They played a really efficient game. Just when it was time to put Minnesota away, they couldn't.
I loved the efficiency of the Steelers' offense today and Aaron Rodgers. 18 of 22, exactly 200 yards passing, a touchdown, no picks, and then the run game. As a team, they averaged 4.5 yards a pop. Kenneth Gainwell, very admirable job today. 19 rush attempts for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then as a receiver, the safety valve for Aaron Rodgers, 6 catches, 35 yards there.
Not even just that, the defense came in. They sacked Carson Wentz 7 times today, and they got 2 turnovers. The defense they're back, I'd say. They seem formidable. And you know what I think is going to be a bigger thing for them, and I think they miss him a lot? Joey Porter. I think the loss of Joey Porter, that true outside lockdown corner in his prime, they have missed him. And when he comes back, this defense is going to take even a bigger step. And I don't know about you, but it's very obvious the absence of Joey Porter is definitely lingering on the defense. That takes him probably from they can take him another level, is what I'm saying.
I would agree. You have another, like I said, he's going into year 3, so I think the term prime may be premature by a year. But someone who can be a really good corner out there and
think he's always been a lockdown corner since he got
and be someone who you can count on for years to come. Absolutely, yes. But without him, especially at the end of the game, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, each of them with over 100 yards receiving, have to give a shout out to Peyton Wilson running down Addison on that 81-yard gain, because it made the Vikings have to earn that touchdown, and they wasted nearly a minute off the clock because Peyton Wilson chased down Addison. Peyton Wilson was everywhere today. He led the team with 13 tackles.
Yeah, he played a game. That was probably the most commendable effort those days when he chased down Jordan Addison. How many times do you see a linebacker chase down a receiver of Addison's speed? Never.
Pittsburgh's 3-1. They're 3-1, and remember, Victor, we were talking. We're like, you gotta. It's not going to be easy. You're going to be in Ireland, the travel, whatnot. I'm actually surprised with how fast Pittsburgh started.
Yes, that's what I was
in this game.
Looking much more adjusted and up to speed than Minnesota did. Minnesota came out slow. Definitely.
Yes.
Minnesota did not look like the Minnesota we're accustomed to seeing today, and I was very impressed with their efforts all around. And you're in the stretch here where you need to stack some wins. It's your bye week. I'm a firm believer here. I don't know where the rest of everyone stands. I think here in the bye week, you got to go get another receiver. Go get somebody to bring in this building. Put them opposite, especially now that Calvin Austin said we don't know the significance of that. Go get another receiver. Honestly, if Miami loses Monday, I'm calling Miami for Tyreek Hill, and I'm bringing him here, and I think I go all in even more. But you got to stack some wins because I think after the bye, you got Cleveland, don't you?
You have Cleveland at home, and then you have Cincinnati on the road 4 days later. So you're going to get this bye, and actually, it's actually about as advantageous as a bye, because think of it, you're getting your Thursday night game for the week pretty much right after your bye almost. So what's going to happen? You got the win here. You're going to play your 2 games in 4 days after your bye week. Then after that Thursday night game, you're going to get like another little mini bye. So the schedule isn't scheduled. It's not horrible. And again, with Cleveland, it's never easy against Cleveland, but it's Joe Flacco, skeleton Joe Flacco, and then you have Cincinnati on the road without Joe Burrow. You got to get these 2 conference and division wins and be looking up here at 5-1. You just got to.
And then after that, you'd be going to that Sunday night with Green Bay, right?
Correct, and that's when your schedule's going to really
that's when the meat and potatoes
stiffen up. Yeah, but the important thing is you got the dub today. You got the dub in Dublin today.